Again, this is from a release from the Memphis Police Department about 10 minutes ago that they're working a number of different crash calls. They're showing and telling us the areas affected here. They say if you do not have to drive, don't. They are saying if drive only if it is absolutely necessary. We have WMC Action News 5's Jerica Phillips out there setting up to talk with us about some of the flood conditions that she's seeing. She's been all across Memphis and Shelby County. I do believe she is there in the blue jacket. Jerica Phillips, what are you seeing?
Yes. Well, Andrew, if you can hear me, Andrew.
Yeah, I would think that the electricity is priority one to make sure it's cut off in the area. You got rescue crews. I love seeing the video here of these rescue crews taking these children out of harm's way, putting them in a safe area, safe location. It was interesting to hear from one of those neighbors talking about how their elderly family member was in a wheelchair and they had to get that person out. Certainly the very young and the elderly are most vulnerable in these type of situations and these type of conditions. And as you're seeing, if our viewers are just joining us, these are live pictures of some of the worst areas hit from this flash flood event that we've been experiencing this morning. Jerica, from your best vantage point, can you do you still feel that it's about 25 to 30 homes in this area that are affected? And is this something that's happened? Did they get these floodwaters? Was this something in the last hour or two? Was it something that has been going on for several hours? Was it just all of a sudden? What can you tell from your vantage point?
Andrew.
You know, Jerica, this is a good moment to really commend the emergency crews that are on scene. It looks like from your vantage point that everyone is safe and sound, the young, the elderly, and every family that's involved in this. They seem to be safe and out of harm's way. And we just want to take a moment to commend the Memphis Fire Department and some of the other emergency responders that are there on the scene, making sure everything's okay. We were getting live pictures as you were reporting, Jerica, walking through the floodwaters there of those firefighters and making sure that those little young children are out from the floodwaters and out of harm's way in that area. Now, Jerica, when you've been walking there, you've been walking that roadway from us and help us understand, it looked like there was about, 50 feet of highway or roadway there that was flooded, and it looked like it was not flooded on either end. Is that... can you describe exactly how the flooding's working on that road? I want to go back to Jerica Phillips just briefly here. Jerica, I don't know if you heard that interview, but Lieutenant James Logan with the Emergency Management Agency said those people on that road that are affected, the Mount Terrace-Durham area where you are, he said that those people can go to the Ed Rice Community Center, get shelter, get water, get whatever they need. They're going to have people there set up to help those people affected there at Mount Terrace and Durham. Jerica Phillips there for us at Mount Terrace in Durham, following this ongoing situation live for us. And you mentioned the Ed Rice Community Center is where flood victims can get help from the Emergency Management Agency and other agencies across the Memphis area. Have you noticed, because I know that there was a priority there to not only evacuate some of those homes, but cut out power and gas to that area. Have you seen that happen? The good news to pass in all this is that the Memphis Fire Department has really taken over that scene. They've really helped about the 25 families or so that have been affected, that have been flooded out of their homes. The Emergency Management Agency also on top of it. They have the Ed Rice Community Center set up so those victims can go to that community center and get the help that they need. Right now, we've been covering this for the better part of the last 2 to 3 hours, and we know that it's stretched across Shelby County and beyond. We want to go right now to Janine Gordon, who's been watching all the roadways for the past few hours. We want to get an update on the traffic. Janine?
I'll turn things over to Andrew Douglas in the Breaking News Center. Andrew, what's going on?
Okay, Tim, before we check in with Amy Spiropoulos again, who's at the Bartlett-Memphis line, we want to reiterate what the sheriff down in DeSoto County, Mississippi, sent to us just a few minutes ago. It was a quote. He said, "You just name a place and it is flooded." DeSoto County, Mississippi Sheriff Roscoe says, if possible, please stay at home. He is calling this a weather emergency. in the county of DeSoto, Mississippi. The roads throughout the entire county, according to the sheriff's office, they're flooded right now. They're extremely dangerous. So if you do not have to travel, do not travel on the roadway in DeSoto County, Mississippi. Wait in your homes until the water subsides. Now let's head out to WMC Action News 5's Amy Sparopoulos live there at the Memphis-Bartlett line. You're at Chafee Road and Brunswick Road. Is that right? And how many people that you see are really affected? We saw a few homes and a few businesses there. How many would you say, Amy? And I know you've only been there about 10 minutes, Amy, but did you get a chance to maybe talk to any of the neighbors there or any of the business owners? What's the mood out there? Are they concerned? Is there assurance from some of the emergency crews that have arrived? No question about it, Amy. Thank you so much for that live coverage. Of course, this is a flash flooding event that we've been carrying live for the better part of a few hours here. We've been in Raleigh, where there were some rescues via boats in the neighborhood there, Mount Terrace and Durham. You just saw Amy Sparopoulos, who was there at the Memphis-Bartlett line, Chafee Road, Brunswick Road. And then we got some information from the sheriff in DeSoto County, Mississippi. Sheriff Roscoe says it is a weather emergency in that county. Do not go on the roadways. He's urging all residents of DeSoto County, do not go on the roadways. They're dangerous right now, and it is a weather emergency. Speaking of the roadways, we want to go back to Janine Gordon, who's been watching the traffic for the better part of the last 3 or 4 hours. What's it looking like now, Janine? Well, Tim and Spencer have been talking about how this weather event continues at this hour. We're going to continue to give you live reports here on WMC Action News 5. We also want to remind our viewers that you can see us. We are streaming this live on our website at WMCActionNews5.com. We are also streaming on the WMC Action News 5 news app. It is a free download, and you can find it in your app store. As you've heard, the flash flood warning for portions of DeSoto, Fayette, and Shelby County lasts until noon today. This has been an ongoing event that we've been covering since very early this morning. We want to go right now live out to Amy Sparopoulos, who's on the Memphis-Bartlett line there. It looks like it is still raining, Amy, and it looks like cars are coming and going on that road behind you. What's the latest? Okay, Amy, so much damage in that storage facility, so much flooding in there. Our hearts go out to that business owner who's dealing with some flooding there. We want to go now. We have a crew in DeSoto County, Mississippi, because DeSoto County is getting hit hard. But first, we want to go to Jerica Phillips, who is in Memphis, and we are watching what she is uncovering there, where a bus is apparently loading up some of the residents in that area. Jerica, what can you tell us? Okay, from the Memphis-Bartlett line to Raleigh, where Jerica Phillips is at right now, where a bus is loading up people who have been affected by the flash flooding. Now let's head down to DeSoto County, Mississippi, Hernando, Mississippi. That's where WMC Action News 5's Michael Clark is live for us. Michael, tell us what you see, where you are, and how bad's the flooding. That it is a weather emergency throughout the entire county of DeSoto. And he's mentioning that all the roadways have been flooded. They're extremely dangerous. If you don't have to drive there, do not drive there. He mentioned, Michael Clark did, that Highway 51 is closed at this time. So again, the flooding situation, we're all over it. We're on top of this flooding situation throughout the 3 states that we cover. We also want to check in and show you some new video that just came in to the WMC Action News 5 newsroom. This is of a baby being rescued from the flash flooding that you saw here on WMC Action News 5 live. This was earlier today in the Raleigh community, where Jerica Phillips was walking through those floodwaters, and those Memphis firefighters, the emergency responders, going in and helping the most vulnerable in these type of conditions, the very young and the elderly, and some that are disabled in the community. They were helping people in wheelchairs. They were helping the very young, as you can see, carrying the little ones out of harm's way into safety. And we have to commend the emergency responders throughout the area who are working in these tough conditions where the rain continues to come down throughout the Mid-South right now. We also have some new video we'd like to show you of some of the flooding area that Amy Sparopoulos has been reporting from. This is from the Memphis-Bartlett line, where businesses are affected, where some homes are affected. And Amy took us inside that storage facility that you see there, where the massive amount of water has just poured in to portions of various, not only the storage facility, but that home that you see. It is just an awful situation. A lot of damage here. In addition to being a safety hazard, there's a lot of damage there. So we want to go right now to WMC Action News 5's Amy Spiropoulos, who's there on the scene. She continues to talk with neighbors and business owners who are there dealing with some of those floodwaters. Amy, I can't imagine the cleanup that business owner has to deal with when you took us inside that storage facility. Just an awful situation there.